Howdy. Today we're going to be going over the solutions to the Unit 8 review. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright, here we have a new int array that's 5 big. Here are its values. We start I equals 3, so I'm going to write down I equals 3, and then we do the loop. Print is 3 less than 5? Yes. Print what's at spot 3, which is a 1. And then a space. I goes to a 4. Is 4 less than 5? Yes. Print what's at a 4, which is 4. And then we print a space. I goes to a 5. Is 5 less than 5? No. There's our final answer. So 1, 4. Next, what is the output of the following code? We have an array that has a 1 and 9. Print the value at position 2. Error, out of bounds. And we'd write out of bounds. There's going to be one question on the test that is error out of bounds. I'm not going to ask you if it's error. I'm not going to give you any hints. You're just going to have to know that it's out of bounds. Because here I try to access position 2. The positions are 0 and 1. There is no spot 2, crash. Like I said, there's only going to be one question like this on the test. Do not give me error out of bounds for 16 questions. You'll miss a whole lot of questions. All right, what is the output of the following code? This is position 0, position 1, position 2, position 3. If I ask you to print what's at number 2, that would be a 3. All right, that one's done. Let's move on to the next page. All right, here we have an array that has these values. It's 5 big. The first thing we do is say m equals a0 plus a1. So you'd write m equals a0 4, a1 2. M is a 6. I starts at a 0. If m is less than the thing at position I plus the thing at position I plus 1, so spot 0 and 1, that would be a 4 plus a 2. Is m less than 6? No. All right, I goes to a 1. And then we access 1's less than 3. We access position 1 and 2. We add those two together. Is m less than 5? No, because we added those two values together, so m doesn't change. All right, now I goes to a 2. Is 2 less than 3? Yes. Is m less than the one at position 2 and 3 added together? Is m less than 3? No. When you finish, m is still the same value. It's a 6. All right, what is the output of the following code? We have all these values. Then we say K2. Well, 0, 1, 2. K2 is a 2. K, so K2, 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So this all evaluates to a 6. So we'd find out what's at spot 6. 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's going to be a 5. On our next problem, what is the output of the following code? We have a similar array. I might have changed up the numbers some, but I'm going to do a similar thing. I'm going to access a position in the array, take that number, use that number to access the array again. So you'd write down I equals I equals 0. That's less than 5. Go to spot 0, get a number. We use that 3 to access the array, which will print a 4. I will change to a 1. We access position 1, which gives us a 4. We use that 4 to access the array, which gives us a 1. I goes to a 2. 2 is less than 5. We use that 2 to access the array. It gives us a 2. We use that 2 to access the array, which gives us a 2. I goes to a 3. 3 is less than 5. We use a 3 to access the array. It gives us a value 4. We use that 4 to access the array, which gives us a 1. I goes to a 4, which is less than 5. We use that 4 to access the array. It gives us back a 1. We use that 1 as a position, and we get the value 4. I goes to a 5. Loop stops. Clear? And now let's scroll down to the next page. Or scroll down further in the current page. All right, x is a 0. We're going to have to know the indexes on this one. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is 0 less than the length? Yes. Print the thing at position 0. B. X plus equals 2. X goes to a 2. 2 is less than the length. Print the thing at spot 2, which is an A. X changes by 2. That's less than the length. Access the thing at spot, X goes up by 2, making it 4. We access the thing at position 4, which is a T. And the answer is bot. What is the output of the following code? We got a 0, we got a 3, we got a 5. When you do a for each loop, the for each loop has to match the type of the list. So int x colon k. That means for every item in k, do the following loop. Each time, x will be one of the items from the list, starting at the beginning. The first time the loop happens, x is a 0, the first item, and we print a hyphen. The next time the loop occurs, or iterates, we get a 3 hyphen. Next time, x will be a 5 hyphen. Now you're out of values. You visited every value, and the list is done. Here, just another simple example of making sure you know how to use for loops. We have an array. Start at spot 3. 3 less than 5? Yup. Print the thing at spot 3. 0. Space. I goes to a 4. Is that less than 5? Yes. Print the thing at spot 4. 1. And we got another page done. What is the output of the following code? 4 divided by 2 is 2. Do remember, this could be truncated. If I did 5 divided by 2, that would still be 2. So then we're going to access ray 2. 0, 1, 2. Our answer is 1, 2, 3. That problem's done. Here we have a list of 3 numbers. They have values. It's a little crazy. I equals 0. Is that less than the length? Yup. Change spot 0 to equal spot 0, 7 times 3. This spot's going to change to a 21. I gets bigger, a 1. That's less than the length because the length is 3. Change spot 1 to whatever spot 1 has, a 2 times 3, 6. I gets bigger. Change spot 2. 2 is less than 3. Change spot 2 to be whatever spot 2 is times 3, 9. Print the thing at spot 1, 6. And that one's done. Here, what is the output of the following code? We have string u, which has battle. We do char array, bob, u.char array. Now, Bob has all those letters. If we ask for the length, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the indexes, but there are 6 things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the length is 6. The thing at position 2 is 0, 1, 2, a T. And I put a space between them. That one's done. What is the output of the following code? We have string. We turn it into a char array. We do a for each loop to visit every letter. Remember, it'll visit every letter in order of the list, and each time we just print it, so the answer is string. because it visits them in order. All right, this one's done. Let's move on to the next page. Oh, it's not the next page. There's a little more left in this page. So let's get right back to it. Here we have a list. Each time in the list, we're changing the values in our locations. So here, I starts at a 1. Position 1 changes to the total of position 1 plus the value at position 0. So 6 and 8. This guy's going to change to a 14. Then we move forward, but the change has already occurred. 2 is less than 5, great. Spot 2 changes to the value at spot 2 plus the value at spot 1. 9 and 14 is 23. I moves on to a 3. That's less than 5. The one at spot 3 equals itself plus the one before it. 1 and 23, 24. I moves forward. 4 is less than 5. The one at spot 4 equals the one at spot 4 plus the guy before it, 28. Then we print whatever's at spot 4, which is a 28 now. All right, cool. The next one's easy. It goes rows, columns. This is row 0, row 1, row 2. So we're on this row. Then it says spot 2. This is column 0, column 1, column 2. We get F. All right, there we go. Moving on. This one we have an array. If we ask for the number, if we do nums.length, we get the number of rows. 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Here, if I say, what is the output of the following code? Grab row 0 and then ask it its length, 3. Here's another one where we just have to print the value. What's at spot 2, 0? Well, it goes row, then column. 0, 1, 2, and then we go 0 over G. All right, let's move down. All right, what is the output of the following code? I go row, so here you have to write stuff down. Because we're doing loops, it's good to write stuff down. R equals 0. 0 less than 3, yup. For int C equals 0. Is 0 less than 2? Yes. So you print the thing at spot 0, 0. A. C changes to a 1. Is that less than 2? Yes. You print the thing at 0, 1, which is supposed to be, yeah, that's an A. That's a B. C changes to a 2. Is that less than 2? No, we're done. We go back to the outer loop. R changes to a 1. We restart the loop. We're back at 0. So 0 less than 2, yes. 1, 0 would be D. C moves up, that's less than 2, so we do it again. 1, 1, that would be E. C goes to a 2, that's not less than 2, so we stop. R goes to a 2, that's less than 3, that means we're going to do it again. The inner loop starts over, 0. 2, 0 is a G. C goes up. H. C goes up. Loop stops. R goes up. Loop stops. We have our final answer. What is the output of the following code? We have an array list data. We call the totals method. We send it data. When I run my totals, notice I start at position 1. So X is a 1, not a 0. We go less than length. Total equals itself plus the value at spot 1, which is a 2. Total goes, X goes to a 2. Is that less than the length, which is 3? Yes. We access thing at spot 2, which is a 3. So we add 5 to the total. 5. Then we return the total, which is 5, because we didn't process position 0. All right, let's move on to the next problem. All right, here we have an array, 1, 2, 3. We send it to print array. Print array prints the array. It starts at 0, goes to length, prints the values. So I'm just going to run through this quickly. It prints 1, 2, 3. Changer, this is the part of the question that's interesting. We send the array to changer. Arrays are sent by reference, which means you send its memory address. You don't actually send a copy of the variable. So if the other array is using the same memory address, you are changing the data. So if I say the one at spot 0 plus 5, that actually changes the original to be a 6. The one at spot 1 plus 5, that changes the original to be a 7. The one at spot 2 plus 5 changes this guy to be an 8. The original has been changed by this method. Then we're going to print pound. Then we call print array data. 1, 2, 3, and there's your answer. All right, now we're going to do the coding ones, but I really don't want to write it out on the screen. It takes forever to write it out. I'm going to do one of the solutions. Check my solution guides. I think for a lot of these I might have given 2 on the actual key, but I'm just going to do one of the answers, and I'm going to do the easier one to understand, so I won't be using any for eaches in these solutions. All right, let's go ahead and drop this screen because I'm going to be typing it out. All right, write code to convert string t into a char array, store it into a char array named letters, and then print the value at index 4. So we assume we already have string t. We say char, bracket, bracket, that should be lowercase, letters, equals t dot to char array. Then we would need to print the thing at spot 4. Letters, bracket, 4, bracket. Oh, we're supposed to print it. I'm forgetting something very important. System.out.print ln. Letters 4. This first problem is done. It was fairly easy. Give an array of ints, name numbers, write code to find and print its total values. This is just from one of your labs. It should be pretty easy. I think we did total in a couple of your labs. So int total equals 0. For int x equals 0, x less than, what was it? Numbers dot length x plus plus. In your loop, you would say total equals itself plus the value numbers x. Whatever's at this location, please add it. Oh, find and print its total. So we haven't printed it yet. System.out.println. The total is plus total. Another one's not too bad. Give an array named sentence that contains only letters. Write code to print all of its lowercase letters. For int x equals 0, x less than letters dot length x plus plus, and inside we have to say if it's a lowercase letter. The easiest way for us to do that at this point is going to be access the value, letters, bracket x, bracket. If that is greater than or equal to a lowercase a, which is the number 97, and it's also equal to, and you're like, I don't know what the value for z is. That's okay, you don't have to, because you just put single quote z, single quote, and that's whatever the value is. system.out.print letters x. All right, I believe we have 2 more of these left. Write code named average prices that receives a double array of values named prices and returns the average price in the array. So public double average price receives a double array named prices. Int total, well, not int total, this is going to be doubles. Double total equals 0. 4 int x equals 0. X less than prices dot length x plus plus. Total plus equals prices at position x. When I've finished that, instead of returning total, what I'm going to be returning is total divided by how many prices there are. Prices dot length. All right. I don't know what I just said there. Arit? That's silly. But, all right, let's move on to number 5. Write code that prints the total of each row in a 2D array of ints named Bob. So we're not actually printing, we're printing the total of each row. So what I need is a double for loop that goes through all the rows. For int r equals 0, r less than Bob dot length, because that's how we find out how many rows there are, r plus plus. And I'm in a row. So since I'm in a row, the first thing I'm going to do is, this is a int array, int total. Total equal 0. Now, I'm going to work my way across the row, which means I'm going to change each column, because now I have a total which starts at 0 for this row. Int c equals 0, c less than Bob bracket 0 bracket dot length, which is how you ask a row, how you ask how many columns there are in a square 2D array. C plus plus. Spacing's a little off on this. Let's fix that. Paragraph. There we go. So, what we're going to do in this for loop is add to the total. I guess I'll leave the curly braces in there. Normally, if it's only one line, I don't like having them, but they're already there. Total equals total plus Bob RC, the current row, the current column. When this finishes, we'll have a total for the entire horizontal row. Then all we have to do is print it. System.out.print, and I could even do it a little pretty, like the total of row R is plus total. Curly brace. Once the inner loop finishes and we print the total of that row, we come back up, we advance to a new row, R++. Now we're on row 1. Then we clear out, we make a new total, which is 0. Then we do the for loop to go across that row, add up the total, print it, so forth, over and over and over, and this prints the total of all the rows in your 2D array named Bob. All right, that concludes us going over our review. Good luck.